Here we are then back for another episode, guys, of my F1 24 My Team career mode. This is round 16 for the Italian Grand Prix at Monza, home turf territory for our team Maserati here today, and we are looking to try and hopefully bag a decent result because lately things haven't been going too well. If you want to know exactly what I mean, the previous episode, guys, at Zandvoort will be linked in the top right. Go check it out. Spoiler warning ahead, even though I've kind of given it away, but still go check it out. And we're going to jump into today's episode, and we have a pair of upgrades to go with the car. Road to speed for engine power, which is critical around Monza, and general wear. To pair that up, we're going to go with also a bit more reliability work, and we're going to go for the energy store because, as you guys remember, at the start of the season we actually lost one of the two that we get in the allocation, so we're trying to drag this current one as long as possible and delay a grid drop. Now, we took care of activities. We're going to do some reaction training for Ollie Behrman, and that's going to take care of business for the weekend as we now skip ahead on the timeline. Now, of course, we are running the special navy blue Maserati livery for this one, of course, home turf for the team, running the home colours. We've also got an updated race suit which looks absolutely insane, and you'll see that in just a bit. Now, the forecast is dry. The championship, even though we didn't score any points last time out and we only got P9 the race before that in Hungary, our leaders actually remained incredibly large because Leclerc and co really aren't capitalising on my poor run of form. I think we've got P4 Spa, P9 Hungary, and then P17 last time out. I mean, genuinely, the run of form hasn't been that great. So, at the minute, we're dropping down the table as well in terms of performance, and you can see RB are now the quickest team on the grid. Now, we've seen a trend recently where RB have actually been insane in the last couple rounds and have put Red Bull in their shadow. Red Bull, though, have brought upgrades, and they've gone from 6th to 3rd in the ranking this weekend. They brought updates to try and respond to their sister team, putting them in their shadow. Now, of course, this is also a home race for RB as well, based in Faenza, and of course, formerly Minardi. We're going to jump into practice here.
Okay, test complete, and that was a really good job indeed. We got a lot of valuable information out of that. Well done.
Now, you caught a glimpse at my engine wear levels, and the engine wear light has flashed up in that session. More on that in just a second. Tyre wear, though, was excellent. Fuel consumption was brilliant for Monza, and yeah, generally speaking, the car was super rapid and very, very efficient. So all the things you need around the Temple of Speed. Now, we do finish practice, and actually, to my surprise, we were quite far down. RB with a 1-2 finish in FP2. That's a big, big warning sign. We get last, P22 on the soft tyres, 1.1 seconds away, so it could be another very close weekend. Now, you can see our ICE is at 61%. Also, MGUH, MGUK, not too bad, but I'm concerned about the control electronics. We've got our current one at 57%. Now, the reason I'm concerned is because if we change either the ICE or the control electronics, we will probably increase the likelihood of a penalty, or not penalty, a DNF, a mechanical failure specifically, because we know how the game works. When you change a component, that tends to trigger mechanical failures. Now, I'm debating if I do it for this race or the next one, but we are going to have to make a change, so we'll see. For now, though, you can see the race suits looking epic. It doesn't even do justice because on the leg we've got the tricolore, the Italian flag, looking insane. And hopefully, if the race goes well, hopefully we might just see it on the podium. So eyes out for that. Anyway, we level up on a claim. Things are looking good, but we're now going to jump into qualifying and try and send it.
For over a century, the Temple of Speed has all come down to moments like this. Driver versus the stopwatch to set the grid for the Grand Prix. It is qualifying at Monza.
Now, as you can tell, I have committed to running these engine parts for this one because it's the team's home race and I don't really want a mechanical failure or a grid drop. So we're going to lock in, we're going to try and squeeze a race out with these components around a power circuit, and then next up is Singapore, which isn't really a power circuit, but I'll likely have to change components for that one instead, and we'll deal with the consequences if we even get a mechanical failure to start with. So, over the line, first run, hopefully though, by us not changing components, we are not super slow, because practice we finish in last, which is a bit of a concern. Anyway, 17.3, P10 at the time, now P15, and we're going to go for a second push lap, as we always do, and we're going to now try and iron out some of those wrinkles in that first one and also take a bit more risk and commit to the lap some more. So, down towards turn 1. Aim for the 100-meter board. You want to brake bang on, down to 3rd gear. Clip the first curb. Very gentle on the 2nd one, and then avoid the exit 1 as we get the power down as we head through turn 3. Battery down to 70% as we now prepare the next chicane. I believe the Retafilio chicane, or was that the first one? Either way, 4th gear, send it in. Bit loose on the way through there. Back end getting a bit shaky as we now head into Lesmo 1. Try and keep the car tight. Don't run too wide on exit. Then Lesmo 2. Down a downshift. Send it in and back out again as we open DRS. Decent bit of time gain there compared to the last run. And now we head into the Variante Ascari. For this one, 5th gear. Brake just before the curb on the right, and then throw the car in, use every inch of the track and be aggressive. We lose a little bit as we went a bit wide, and our exit suffers as a result, so we lose about half a tenth through there as we now send it into the final corner, Parabolica. 5th gear, just try and get the apex. We do run a bit wide. We try and bring it back down on the exit, but I'd say we actually lost a tenth in that last sector. We do improve overall to P12, 17.1, but still a bit distant. Hulkenberg currently setting the pace by a tenth, which is quite a bit when you consider the gaps around here. Behrman is in P8. So right now we're not exactly flying around here, which is not a huge surprise. The AI have been notoriously quick around here, but you can see Russell, Piastri also out of position, Perez possibly as well. So we might even drop further with this lap. So we need to improve. Yet we're only half a second off the top. So it looks like we are lacking a bit of pace. That FP2 pace is somewhat confirmed. So here we go. Final qualifying run. 30 seconds on the clock. Minimum fuel. We're just going to go full send on a fresh set of tyres and give it everything. I'll take that. I will take that. There was a bit of a mistake in Ascari again, but other than that, it was a very good lap. However, Racing Ball front row lockout. VCARB 1-2. Hulkenberg is on pole, Sonoda second, and they have come from absolutely nowhere this season to become the driving force in the last couple of rounds. They're super, super strong. We get inside the top 10, we out-qualify Ollie, but that pretty much was most of the pace. I reckon there was maybe another 10th if we'd ironed out that Ascari and got the line right. By the way, Red Bull 17th and 18th with RB 1-2. I mean, that is a statement and a half. Either way, that's it for qualifying. Job done, and yeah, like I said, maybe a 10th more in it. Either way, that's going to be it, guys, for the session. Hamilton, of course, will outscore us in the rivalry, but that's going to be it. And we're now going to jump into the race and try and hopefully be smart with our racecraft in the main event.
Welcome to the venue of evocative corner names like Parabolica, which was renamed in 2021 to Curva Alboreto in honor of Italian motorsport legend Michele Alboreto. It's a fitting tribute to him here at Monza, ahead of the Italian Grand Prix. This place is all about speed. It is a unique challenge. You've got the chicane at turn 1, the Variante Ascari at turns 8, 9 and 10, and the Parabolica to conclude things at 11. Top speeds pushing 215 miles per hour. So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Nico Hülkenberg lines up on pole position, and Yuki Tsunoda completes the front row. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Oscar Piastri, Fernando Alonso, Hamilton, Norris, Ocon, Martinez, Russell, Albon, Sainz, Behrman, Leclerc, Stroll, Gasly, Hauger, Verstappen, Perez, Sargent, Bottas, Teo Porcher, and Zhou Guanyu. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out then. Let's see who can prevail today. Well, we welcome you to the broadcast. It's going to be some race today. First of all, introductions. I'm Alex Jakes. Alongside me for this one, Anthony Davidson. So they've got lots of team members to get to know, to win over, and to get working for them. How do you go about doing that? It's really great to see team and driver working so well together. But there's always improvements that you can get in. Now, those final hours before a race, did you have a routine?
Well, for them, you've got your pre-race rituals that you go through. You see different drivers that, some have got their headphones on, they're listening to the music. Some drivers really absorb the energy from the crowd and they're there waving to them. Other drivers, they go within themselves. They chat to their engineers, absorbing that information, that vital information that you need to carry you through the race. And, those pre-race rituals are essential to making things systematic. We do a lot of Grand Prix in a season, and the more systematic you can be, the easier you are within that environment.
Now, normally, with margins this tight, it would be a tough race, a difficult race, but I predict it's going to be quite tactical. I don't think it's going to be super sweaty. I think the RBs are going to be very rapid. They're going to pull everybody along, and we're all going to be in a train. And Monza, historically, notoriously, is, very battle-heavy, and the AI aren't the best around here. So, basically, we have to be smarter rather than faster. And if we execute that, then we should be in good shape in this one. The timing of the stop is also going to be very important, so we have to make sure we make a good call on pit strategy. But either way, for this one, we're going to go on the mediums and then move on to the hard. It's a simple one stop, nothing really surprising on strat. Also, fuel 0.8 extra, nothing really game changing. The forecast is consistent, so yeah, we're ready to go. We're going to jump straight in, and like I said, it needs to be a race where basically we're efficient rather than effective. Just got to be very clever with our overtaking and not be desperate or go for rash moves. So let's get into it. So time to line up on the grid. Hopefully we can get a 0.1 or a 0.0 and get super close. We'll point the car probably straight. I don't really care for moving across around this particular track. I don't think it's necessary. It's more about just getting the perfect launch. So we're going to make sure we're nicely aligned and we can just basically straight line it off the line and try to get that launch as best as possible. Right, good stuff. Medium ERS for this. Lights on. Oh wow, everyone got a good start. Others behind got a great start, including Behrman, who's going to be right with us. Albon and Russell jump us at the start. Careful for damage here, let's not lose a wing.
Okay, we're monitoring some wear on the internal combustion engine. Be aware that we're going to start to see a loss of power.
Can't do much about that. Just a really good start from the AI. We're down to P11 behind Ollie Behrman. Normally I'd go for this, but I'm not going to attack my own teammate just yet. So we'll let him settle into a race pace, and then we'll have to start looking at some moves. Key thing here is the train stays intact. If the train breaks up, we're going to have to get busy, and that is when the race plans will kind of get thrown out of the picture a bit, and we're going to have to get aggressive. The key thing though, like I said, the AI aren't the best at battling here. They tend to be quite inefficient, so we'll have to be looking out for those moves and looking to strike whenever those things happen. Already you can see Stroll there pressuring me. I think we're a little bit slow on the straight, at least on this first lap, where the AI are leaning on their battery quite a lot. So we'll have to be, again, smart with our management. Behrman also seems a bit slow as Leclerc makes a move behind. So Leclerc starting behind, out of position.
DRS is being enabled this lap. We can use DRS when you're within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
I see cars behind. Trying to brake as late as I can to encourage a dive bomb, as Sainz was having a look there. So both Ferraris out of sync, and you can see just by them going side by side through the first chicane, they're now a second behind. So that's what I'm saying about they can be very inefficient and lose a lot of time, and suddenly the elastic will snap and the train will break. So we just have to try and stick with this group here and not lose time.
Okay, clear.
Yellow behind. A couple of cars caught up in that one, it seems. Doesn't look like it's mechanical. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe it is. I think it's a Williams. Either way, no safety car or virtual safety car from that. So we'll continue on our way, and that car has got going. So there we go. No mechanical failure. Hulkenberg 1 minute 20.2. So we're basically there. All similar pace-wise. Battling ahead though. Battling behind. Oof, almost drove into the back of Behrman there, who's slowed up quite a bit more than I planned. 20.1. We do a 20.1 of our own. Stroll 19.3. Just goes to show, if you get the DRS effect and you get a clean air, you can go really quick around here, and that's how the race can really change. We've just locked onto Behrman there in a strange way, so just lost momentum between 1 and 2. That wasn't ideal, but we should be okay. Got a full charge to defend myself from the Ferrari. Oh, here we go. Slicing and dicing. Albon, Ocon. Luckily we stay in one piece. I think there's a bit of a break up front on this lap. There was a bit of a slowdown in sector 2. So I think the top 2 might have broken away. I think it's Alonso and Tsunoda, or Alonso and Hulkenberg out front. Definitely now. Look at that. Look at that gap. Oh, hello. Leclerc's having a look on the Barry aggressively, but I think he's derating. I think he's running a bit low, so we'll defend ourselves into Ascari and hold on to that one for now. Now we've formed back up into a train, which is good. So we've caught the front 2. This is what I mean. It's a very tough race to execute anything, but it seems like Ocon here has lost the wheel of the lead group, although that could change. We'll have a go at Behrman here. He's flashing away, so we're likely going to get a chance to put a move on our teammate. Braking super late, bit of relocking, but we get it done. Not the cleanest of moves, but we take it. P10. Got a little bit spooked there by the smoke. I thought something might have happened, so I pressed the brake a bit harder than I would have done because I didn't want to go into the back of anybody. Getting close to Ocon here. He's derating quite a bit. If the AI derate on the pitch straight, we will be there. But look at the acceleration. The exit they get is so good. I'm going to use my battery now early on to try and be closer into the 119s. We force Ocon offline. He's still flashing a bit. Trying to charge. Can't brake too late. And instead, that invites Ocon to put a move on Albon. Turning defense into attack. I'm going to try and see if I can use this to try and go through here. I'm going to switch lanes. Long way around, and we just cut Ocon off at the nose. P8, good moves, good double, efficient overtaking, and we're back where we started. Oh, hello, Behrman up to P10. He's got past Ocon and is joining the fight. You'd love to see it. Oh, Russell, Norris a bit slow. We're going to try and sneak through. We barge into that gap. Russell tried to shut the door. We might be able to get Norris here as well. Bit of contact as I was trying to see what line Norris was going to go for. Wasn't quite able to outbrake him there. Radio not working. Love that. There's some proper battling going on now. Russell's having a look here, trying to get back through, but there's a lot of scrapping ahead. Genuinely, if we get to the front, we're winning this race because I'll be able to just pull away from all this scrapping. This is what I mean, the AI just super inefficient here, so if you play your cards right, famous old saying, you're going to win big. Whoa. First signs of tyre wear. Wasn't going to have that. Russell was never going to get that move. I was going to make sure he stayed behind. It does seem like the elastic has also just snapped, by the way, just ahead of Piastri. Him and Hamilton have been duking it out for the last couple of laps, and the front three just seem to have gotten a break. The two RBs and Alonso have just slipped through the cracks here, but we are approaching the pit window, so we'll see how that affects things. Either way, I think we'll probably catch back up. That's the nature of this track. At the minute, we're actually closing in on Norris here. It's just my exits. I can't get the acceleration that AI do out of corners. We lose just enough yards that I can't quite challenge. Sonoda's in. Sonoda had a 10-second time pen. So did Sonoda speed into the pit lane? I've never seen that before. Look at this, by the way. Alonso Hulkenberg battling up the road. But Sonoda must have sped into the pit lane and got himself a 10-second time penalty. I've never seen an AI do that before. Ever. We're going to try and get Norris here who's sleeping. We're going to get momentum. Piastri's flashing. And so's Hamilton. They've all out of battery from battling away on the pit straight. And we just go through and get all three of them. Thank you very much. And that's what I'm talking about. Timing. We're also going to drop Hamilton out of DRS range because he's got no charge. He's got nothing. Now Piastri's actually got through, but they've got nothing to fight with. So we're just going to cruise past and we're going to take that P3. And this is now our scheduled box lap. More battling into Ascari from the guys behind. So we've increased our lead. And now we're going to box with the front two. Let's not do a Sonoda.
Okay, be aware, the grip levels are going to start falling away soon.
Right, that's huge. What an end to that stint. Absolutely insane. This is what I mean about Monza. You're never out of it. And if you're smart, even if you're not quick, you can still win big. Right, big stop here. Lovely, lovely, lovely. We've jumped Alonso. We've jumped Alonso. He got held by Hamilton.
Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound.
So we're going to be the ones to potentially spoil Nico Hulkenberg's first ever F1 win. The issue here is I don't have DRS. He's completely on his own. And based off qualifying on a single lap, he was quicker than me. So I think we'll struggle to close this gap down. So this might be second place, to be honest, because Sonoda, of course, went backwards with that time pen. So Hulkenberg has free reign and free track to basically drive away and disappear into the distance. So let's see. I'll try it, but I think I'm going to struggle. It's funny because I'm actually not that quick around this track, but because of the nature of their racecraft, it makes us look super rapid when in reality I'm not that fast. Let's see then where everybody kind of, floods out from the pits. Bayern will benefit from having their last pit box. But look at that, we're P2, net P2 after all of that. That triple overtake on the McLarens and Hamilton was absolutely paramount. I think we can stay ahead of Lewis. I think he'll have Russell, Alonso for company in terms of battling. So I think we'll likely pull away because they'll battle. But Hulkenberg's going to be really tough to catch and pass. I think Hamilton got DRS on me there. We'll use everything to try and drop him back out again. The AI just so fast through the Lesmos. We get our first track limit warning. I'll try and drop him back out again here, but I'm using all my battery to do this. I think we did it. I think we just dropped him out of range, but he's just going to eat me back up on this corner exit. There it is. PB without DRS, good pace. We've actually caught Hulkenberg, but that was using all my battery, so let's see. He's not actually as fast as I thought. He's not getting away as quickly as I thought, so there might be something in this. Obviously in-game, Hamilton's got extra motivation because he's my rival, so he's going to be a bit quicker than what he usually would be. So he's got himself in my DRS. He's actually dropped Russell out of his, so Hamilton's going to be here for the ride. So it could be a three-way fight for the win. If we work with Lewis, he's going to fly by right away. He's not messing around, so we'll try and work with Lewis here. Maybe we can do something. You never know. Well, I'll say that. The AI are terrible at their top speed in terms of their end of straight VMAX. They're just very good at accelerating, so it's not optimal in terms of how they use their battery, but we'll see what we can try and do. If I can get a leapfrog here off Lewis onto the pit straight, that'd be decent. Just trying to get a charge back, which isn't easy. But look at how much the AI accelerate off the last corner. It's insane. Hamilton goes quickest 19.0. And now he's going to use his battery. We'll have to go through though. Hamilton tries to re-challenge, but I'm going to slam the door in his face because now we've got ourselves within Hulkenberg's DRS. Thanks to that slingshot, we've got what we need. Let's try and close in on Hulk here. We'll use everything. AI are very good for the Lesmo, so we have to nail the chicane. And we haven't.
Okay, the underbody's taken some damage. You might start to notice it soon.
That's not good. Last time we got underfloor damage, we struggled. So we'll have to manage. But look at that, we've got DRS. That's what matters. Right, let's prepare this final 10 laps. Hamilton will try to go through here, but I think he might run out of top speed, as the AI tend to do. And there you go again. We just pull away in the second half of the straight. The dynamics are very weird around here, though, in terms of how the racing is versus the AI with very heavily upgraded cars.
The underbody's taken a little damage. Just watch out for it.
Yep, I don't need to know. I'm well aware. Hamilton will get close, but doesn't pull alongside. This time, though, we're going to challenge Hulkenberg, I think. We've got the top speed. We've got the best engine in the field. Around the outside. Inside for turn 2. Lovely stuff. Into the lead. Hulkenberg down to second. I feel bad I'm the reason Hulkenberg's not going to win a race, but we've got to do what we've got to do for the championship. Now, I don't think we'll have pace to pull away unless Lewis gets involved and starts to battle with Nico. So until that happens, we're going to be running as a 3-car formation. Oh, understeer. That didn't feel good. Hulkenberg will pull alongside. But look at this. I don't have DRS. I'm not using my battery except for hot lap mode, and we're still pulling away. 3 wide though is not exactly ideal, so I will back out of that to make sure we stay ahead of the cars behind and we keep some form of integrity in terms of our battling. So we'll let them both go. Hamilton leads the way. Oh boy. Oh boy. It's kicking off between these two. I'm just not going to get involved for the time being because we are still keeping a gap to the cars behind. If I get involved, we'll likely have to go 3 wide and lose time to the cars behind. So I'm happy to just wait for now. Hulkenberg seems a lot quicker than Hamilton, and he does go through and retake the race lead. Now Hamilton's having a go. They're just swapping around. Really not efficient. So I think it might be time to strike. Let's get in position. Russell 1.2. We're losing time now, so we have to make moves. Hulkenberg slow. Oh my god, Hamilton just couldn't pick a line there. I was just going to commit to that outside line, but look at that. They bang wheels. Swap paint. I'm going to save my battery for later on in this lap because we're now going to commit to this. Here we go. We breeze by the pair. And if they keep battling, which it hasn't been the case, I could have pulled away there, but Hamilton got ahead of Hulkenberg. Russell has joined the fight. I'm going to use my battery on this one to try and see if I can pull away from Lewis and make the break. AI are just very bad on battery today, so I think we can make it happen on our own. I think we got it. I'm not sure. It's going to be close. Again, we'll use our battery through this straight to try and keep a gap to Hamilton. I think he did get DRS though. So we're not quite out of the DRS range yet. We get the fastest lap, we get the extra point. Just need a good chicane, which it is. Hamilton's had a good chicane himself though, to be fair, he's still there. I just can't get the break. I think this time we have broken DRS though, I'm pretty certain. That was a scruffy second Lesmo. No, I think Hamilton's still got DRS. Damn, I just can't get away. Now they're choosing not to battle. I can't brake, and we get another warning there, trying to shortcut through Ascari. Oh, Sonoda's out. Race to forget for the other racing ball. Now they're battling behind. This is going to be the break. There it is. Look at the time loss. I'm going to try and hang on to my battery that I've got to use it elsewhere. Let's see if I can maybe use that as a form of escape. Like now. No, I just can't. The AI are just too strong in acceleration. Hulkenberg will have a go again here. So this will be our chance to break one more time. There it is. There it is. This time we get it. We'll use a bit of battery here just to extend that gap, but this time I'm confident if I get the chicane right, we've got the gap we need. Oh, it's a little bit deep, but it'll do. Barring any disasters now, we should be safe. Let's bring this one home. Yeah, this is it. Russell through to second. That's all we need now. What's happened behind? Look at the time loss. Russell's got away. Hamilton's now 3.5 with Hulkenberg. Last lap of the race. Let's bring it home. Russell tried, but it wasn't enough. Really well managed. Perfect race in terms of IQ and just making the right moves at the right time. That triple overtake is what won us the race on our in lap. That was absolutely critical. And there's your lot. We're going to come through for the win. Hulkenberg is down to P5, but we'll take that.
Come on! Now we can fight.
Oh, superb driving. That is the race win, my friend. Well done.
There it is then, victory in the Italian Grand Prix. A historic race and an achievement they can be immensely proud of.
You always look back at a race like this and think, if I'd just made that mistake there or locked up here, there would have been contact. And every one of those overtakes is a moment where you have to absolutely nail it, perfect it, and that's exactly what they're able to do today. Great stuff indeed.
A show-stopping performance from the three drivers approaching the podium right now. It's been an interesting Grand Prix, that's for sure.
Now that is exactly what we needed to do and what we required for the championship. The big news, Charles Leclerc, P11, no points yet again. Our nearest rival in the Drivers' Championship gets a big fat 0. And after a string of poor races from us, we bounce back and we get a win with fastest lap and maximum points. Which is good because I took a gamble with the engine. I was debating changing components or using the old ones. We used the old ones, it worked out. I think we're likely going to make a change for Singapore, which means I'm expecting an engine failure in that one, which means no points for us. So I'm kind of thinking ahead, really, in terms of what might happen. So, yeah, with that in mind, here is your lot. So, top 3, Russell Alonso on the podium with us. Then Hamilton gets P4 ahead of Hulkenberg. And then it's Norris, Ocon, Piastri, Sainz, and Gasly out in the rest of the top 10. Verstappen P13, Behrman P14 in the end. He fell away quite a bit in that second stint. Not too sure what happened to him. And then, of course, Tsunoda DNFing from that race. So, in the standings, we lead by 82 points over Charles Leclerc. Alonso up to 3rd, Hamilton 4th, right behind, and then Russell a bit further back in P5. Everybody, did what they could for the championship, but the key thing here from the last few rounds is somehow we've extended our lead, even though we haven't had the best run of races, and we didn't even score points last time out. So, it's crazy how it keeps going our way. Anyway, in the Constructors, we're 4th. I don't think we're going to win the Constructors. Mercedes have that on lock. I think Lewis and George are too strong. So that's your lot, guys, for the race. And yeah, we'll see what happens in the next one. So we're going to keep working. Obviously, we're going to invest in that simulator level 3 upgrade to try and improve Ollie Behrman as well down the line. I'm looking forward to getting that and hopefully maxing out the personnel department to make sure Ollie is as fast as possible for the closing rounds. And if we can challenge for the Constructors, then so be it. Anyway, In the background, you would have had the post-race fallout in terms of that one, so you know all the things that might have happened, and we should have a pretty decent gain overall. No big damages either. In the meantime, a massive shout out to my channel members, guys, for supporting the content. As always, I massively appreciate it. Check out the 2 videos on screen if you haven't seen them, and I'll see you guys in my next one very soon. Take care. That's goodbye from me. Ciao.